Hey, I'm out here at the barn and I'm looking at my feed list and I'm realizing it needs to be updated here. So I am going to show you how to update this and then get a new feed list printed out and get it in the barn here for everybody to be able to use. From the main page, if I want to add a feeding regimen for a horse, I can go ahead and just do it by picking my horse and then adding it. If I've already added it, I can just select on this feeding and it's going to show the list of the horses already added. But in this case, if I want to pick a horse, I can go to my horse list and I can pick a horse. And as you can see, it is blank. So if I want to now edit this, I would just select edit and that allows me to start the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my grain. So I'm going to select add new grain. And there's a full list that's pre-populated, but if you want in your settings, you can identify which feeds you want to show at the top of the list. This is where this becomes handy because if I've got multiple horses I want to add the feed for and I only use a few feeds, I can do this. I pick my grain, I hit save. I have to select my time, quantity 1. It defaults unit measure of scoop, but I could change that if I wanted to, if there was a different unit of measure. I'm going to add a new feeding time. I'm going to select PM. I'm going to add a new feeding time and select night check, and she gets half a scoop at night check. And I'm going to do the same actions for forage and then for my supplement or medication that they get daily. Okay, and once you've entered in all these different items, which I did, I can hit save and it's going to show it. Now note you can enter as many different items within this. I have one grain, one forage selected. I have 2 supplements or medications selected. If you had 5 or 6, you could enter that as well. As you know, your feed list over time will change. Horses will change on supplements, change on food. So to change a feed list, what I can do is from the home screen, I'm going to select feeding. And I'm going to see the feed list that's already in here today. But I can also just select on a horse. And right now, for instance, this horse is on Triple Crown Complete. I can hit edit. And I can, and let's say I want to switch to Triple Crown Senior. I can delete these grains. I can hit add new grain. And I can find Triple Crown Senior. Now, it's not on the top of my list. If I were going in settings, I could say, show at the top of the list, and that would allow it to just show up right at the top. It's not there, but that's no problem because all I do is type in senior, or I just started to type in the beginning of it, and it'll show up a search for any food that has the word senior tied into it. And I'll select my Triple Crown Senior, hit save, and then I can select my times. And hit save. So if I go back to my main page and look at the horse list, I can see all the different horses and it's showing the 4 horses here that have feeds set up. If I want to see, and that's fine, and you can print it from this view if you wanted to, but there is also a report. So if I select on reports and I look at, I can see either a combined feed chart, which shows me all the horses, or I can look at an individual stall chart, which is going to show me just for that one horse that you could put up on the stall. Also, incidentally, there is under horse shows, if you have a certain set of horses that are going to a show, it will grab whatever feed information you have for those horses specifically that are going to a show. So that's under the horse show reports. But if I want to run a combined feed chart, so right now it's going to show all these different horses. I can certainly filter it and decide what horses I want to show if there's horses I don't want to show. And then and I can print it from here. And when I go to hit print, what you're going to see is it's going to ask you what you want to do. Do I want to save the file or do I want to open it with a as a PDF? So I'm going to open it. And so this will show you what the feed chart looks like from a printed form. So you can just print it right here on the screen, and then you have a nice printout of your feed chart, and it shows what date that feed chart is effective as of. If you need to add special notes, which will appear on the feed chart, I want to show you where to go about that. So if I were to pick back to this diesel pony, and I want to add a note around the CJ, so what I can do is just select it. And so when I'm adding a new supplement or if I'm editing it, there's a portion here called notes. So if I want to say mix CJ thoroughly with grain, and I typed it wrong. And I can hit save. So now there's a note on this profile to mix the CJ thoroughly with the grain, and I can hit save. And so as I'm looking at it, you can see the instructions related to this note. And if I want to look at all the horses and all the feeding, you can see that I've added here is mix CJ thoroughly with grain. So this will appear on the feed charts, and it's just a very important factor. There's some of it that is important for the horse, or some of it that's important for the safety factor for the employees. So it's a good way to communicate and get everybody on board with exactly what needs to happen to offer the safest and best care you can for the horse.
Thanks for watching. We're going to be posting more videos related to Equine Simplified tips and tricks, as well as general horse care topics. So please remember to subscribe so that you can get the latest. Now, time to go play with the horses. Cheers!